The 33-year-old, who had nearly 700,000 followers, was found shot dead inside her vehicle along a busy road just north.
The streets are buzzing. 6ix9ine girl is gone, murdered cold. And fresh footage just dropped showing 6ix9ine right before it all went down. Seriously, y'all dad homies, we gotta talk about this. Word on the street is his comments may have triggered something, might have even prompted the hit. Let's break it down. It's a tragic story, a domino effect of fame, betrayal, and consequences. What went down on August 17th, 2025, was some next-level tragedy that shook the whole hip-hop community to its core. When the sun was barely peeking over the concrete jungle, Ariela Mejia-Polanco, a 29-year-old Dominican BDY, making moves as an influencer and bartender, was found slumped in her whip on the Cross County Parkway in Mount Vernon. The circumstances were wild, leaving everyone scratching their heads. But what really had people talking was her connection to Tekashi 6ix9ine, and how his moves might have set the stage for her murder. Real talk. To understand how deep this goes, we gotta break down who Ariela really was in these streets. This was just some regular chick posting selfies for likes. Shorty was a whole vibe in New York's nightlife scene, with over 551,000 followers on the gram and 115,000 on TikTok. She built her brand through charismatic energy, dance content, and modeling, all of it working that undeniable vibe. But beyond the social media flex, Ariela was plugged into the same nightlife ecosystem where rappers, hustlers, and social media stars all move in the same circles, creating a dangerous mix of clout, cash, and potential drama. Working behind the bar at spots like Icon New York and Starlets of New York, Ariela wasn't no stranger to the glitz, glamour, and all the beef that comes with New York's elite party scene. These weren't just regular clubs. They were where celebrities, influencers, and street dudes crossed paths. A volatile mix of fame, money, and potential static that could turn deadly real quick. The night before everything went left tells a story that hits different when you know how it ends. On August 16th, 2025, Ariela was living her life, seemingly unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. She documented her evening on social media, showing off her style and engaging with fans. It looked like a normal night, but it was a facade hiding a storm brewing on the horizon. Police confirmed she was driving a white Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon when she was found. The car itself, a symbol of luxury and status, now became a grim reminder of her tragic end. The news spread like wildfire, triggering a wave of speculation and rumors across social media. Theories began to surface, each painting a different picture of what might have happened. But one thing was certain: Ariela's death was more than just a random act of violence. It was a consequence of the dangerous world she lived in. The timing is crucial. Let's break down
In a series of stories on Instagram, calling his longtime friend my wife and a tremendous woman. You supported me in everything. New York won't ever be the same. I love
6ix9ine's legal situation in 2025. This wasn't the same 6ix9ine who had been dominating headlines in previous years with his wild public appearances and social media antics. By 2025, he was operating under some seriously restricted circumstances. He was under strict probation following a 45-day stint in federal custody in late 2024 for violating supervised release. His probation terms included house arrest with electronic monitoring, a ban on international travel, and requirements to follow strict legal and behavioral conditions. Additionally, in July 2025, he pleaded guilty to drug charges after a March 2025 raid on his Florida crib uncovered MDMA, cocaine, and other substances. He was awaiting sentencing in September 2025, further restricting his ability to make public appearances. These legal constraints paint a picture of a dude whose movements were heavily monitored and restricted, making any involvement in New York's nightlife scene not just unlikely, but potentially catastrophic for his legal standing. Yet somehow, Ariela's death has become linked to his controversial past and all the enemies he made during his transformation from street-affiliated rapper to federal informant. Let's revisit 6ix9ine's own perspective. In some revealing footage, he breaks down his mindset when he decided to cooperate. What I fold on though, when you took the stand, or when I fold on when you snitched. All right. So, let me ask you something, son. If you was in that position, what you would have did? You gotta understand. I don't answer the question. I would never tell. This reveals a defensive stance about his cooperation and a willingness to challenge others about what they would have done in his situation. This mentality becomes crucial when examining whether his association with Ariela could have put her in harm's way. The transformation of Daniel Hernandez into Tekashi 69 and eventually into a federal cooperating witness is a story that's been told a lot, but its relevance to Ariela's death can't be understated. 6ix9ine's history as a former Bloods gang member who testified against the gang in 2019, earning him the snitch label, continues to fuel the narrative. His own words about this situation provide vital context. The most prevalent theory circulating centers on the idea that Ariela got caught in the crossfire, with the real target being her alleged boyfriend, Nada Cartier. According to these reports, Nada Cartier is described as a suspected gang leader with a history of criminal activity, including robbery operations. Police confirmed detaining someone for questioning post-incident, with multiple sources identifying this person as Cartier. His background, which reportedly includes prior arrests and irregular entry into the United States, adds credibility to the theory that he was the intended target of what appears to have been.
Ariela, who made a living working at nightclubs and modeling, also starred in 6ix9ine's music videos. He paid tribute in a series of stories on Instagram, calling his longtime friend my wife and a tremendous woman. You supported me in everything. New York won't ever be the same. I loved you. Another new
in a carefully planned hit. If Ariela was indeed messing with both 6ix9ine and Cartier, it raises questions about the nature of these relationships and whether they overlapped in ways that could have made her a target for multiple reasons. The second major theory focuses on 6ix9ine's enemies seeking retaliation against him. His history and the consequences of his actions have made him a target for those seeking revenge. Let's revisit some crucial moments. In some footage, 6ix9ine makes a provocative comparison to fallen rappers. He's dead, but what's the point though? Alright then. So King Bonus, this demonstrates his belief that his willingness to use any means necessary to survive makes him smarter than those who ended up in body bags. This attitude, this belief that he is above the rules, creates a dangerous perception among those who harbor ill will towards him. The story doesn't end with speculation and theories. It's a tragedy with real-world consequences, a reminder of the dangers lurking beneath the surface of fame and fortune. It's a story that demands answers and a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding Ariela Costa's death. The investigation is ongoing, and new information is emerging constantly. As the police continue to piece together the events leading up to her death, the truth may finally come to light. But one thing is certain, Ariela's life was cut short, and her death leaves a void that can never be filled. It serves as a stark reminder of the price of fame, the complexities of relationships, and the ever-present danger of living in a world where violence and betrayal lurk around every corner. The hood gossip and street theories continue to circulate, fueling the narrative and keeping the memory of Ariela alive. Yo, what's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we diving into a case that's got the whole internet buzzing, a real tragedy shaking up the hip-hop world. It's about Ariela Costa, Tekashi 6ix9ine's girlfriend, and her shocking death. The news hit hard, leaving everyone reeling. We're talking about a life cut way too short, a story shrouded in mystery and speculation. It's a heartbreaking situation, and we're going to break it all down for you. But before we do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single update on this developing story. Let's get into it. The story doesn't end with speculation and theories. It's a real-world tragedy, a harsh reminder that even amidst fame and fortune, danger lurks. It's a story that demands answers, a thorough investigation into what really happened to Ariela Costa. The investigation is ongoing, and new information is surfacing constantly. As law enforcement tries to piece together the events leading up to her death, the truth may finally come to light. But one thing is certain, Ariela's life was unfairly cut short, leaving behind a void that can't be filled. It's a stark reality check.
Ariela La Langosta, a social media star and mother with romantic ties to rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, murdered. The 33-year-old, who had nearly 700,000 followers, was found shot dead inside her vehicle along a busy road just north.
About the price of fame, the tangled web of relationships, and the constant threat of violence and betrayal in our world. The hood gossip and street theories continue to swirl, fueling the narrative and keeping Ariela's memory alive. It's wild, right? Like, you hear stories, but then it hits close to home. And let's talk about how this whole thing feels lacking. You hear it in the streets. Lacking. King Von died lacking. Nippy died lacking. Pop Smoke died lacking. The phrase just echoes, a grim commentary on how even those deemed untouchable can fall victim to the streets. You can't lack, you know. It's a code, a way of saying that you gotta survive. You gotta protect yourself. But sometimes it's just not enough. This brutal assessment reveals a belief that traditional street credibility, that whole image of being tough and untouchable, is worthless if it gets you murdered. It's a twisted perspective, but it's a reality for many out there. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The source text mentions Tekashi 6ix9ine's involvement in this situation, and that's brought a whole new level of attention to the case. Some folks are pointing fingers, whispering about connections and motives. It's a complex situation, and the truth is probably somewhere in between the rumors and the headlines. But let's be clear, this isn's about assigning blame. It's about understanding the circumstances that led to this tragedy and ensuring that justice is served. We're not here to judge. We're here to explore, to question, and to seek answers. There's a fascinating perspective being offered, that Tekashi's actions, his very existence, somehow triggered this entire chain of events. Did his association with Ariela put her in harm's way? Was she caught in the crossfire of his world? These are the questions that are on everyone's minds, the ones that keep us up at night. And while we may not have all the answers right now, one thing is certain. Something went wrong. Horribly wrong. And that brings us to the question of Tekashi's responsibility. Did his cooperation with law enforcement, his willingness to expose the underbelly of the hip-hop world, put a target on his back and, by extension, on those around him? That's what many are suggesting. That Ariela may have been collateral damage, a pawn in a larger game she didn't even understand. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? To think that someone could be so carelessly caught in the crosshairs of someone else's world. The source text mentions that Tekashi's cooperation pattern is well established and widely known. This isn't a secret. It's a reality that many are aware of. People know he's playing a dangerous game, and they know that his actions have consequences. But did that awareness translate into action? Did someone take advantage of the situation, using Tekashi's involvement as an excuse to settle a score? Let's dive into the tributes Tekashi put out. The timing is crucial here. With sentencing pending for his drug charges, any public statement that could be seen as an admission or...
Ariela, who made a living working at nightclubs and modeling, also starred in 6ix9ine's music videos. He paid tribute
or attract further law enforcement scrutiny would have been incredibly risky. So why did he do it? Was it genuine grief, or a calculated move to distance himself from the situation? Maybe it's a combination of both. It's a complex emotional landscape, and it's hard to know what's really going on behind closed doors. It's a delicate dance of emotions and appearances. Then there's the question of motive. Who would want to hurt Ariela? What was the reasoning behind this senseless act of violence? Was it a personal vendetta, a gang-related hit, or something else entirely? The possibilities are endless, and it's up to investigators to sift through the evidence and uncover the truth. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, each layer revealing a new set of questions and complexities. The scene itself is heartbreaking. Ariela was found shot in a vehicle on the Cross County Parkway, a location that seems so ordinary, yet now carries the weight of tragedy. The Dominican community in New York and beyond has rallied around Ariela's memory, flooding her Instagram with messages of condolence. It's a testament to the impact she had on those around her. It's incredible to witness the outpouring of love and support, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. The source text also highlights the comments from a no-jumper host, who observed that Tekashi's involvement always puts him back in the spotlight. It's a vicious cycle, a constant reminder of his past actions and their consequences. It's a never-ending loop of attention and scrutiny. It's hard to shake, isn't it? The past has a way of catching up to you. And speaking of consequences, let's consider Takashi's confrontational approach to those who criticize his cooperation. He challenges their credibility, highlights their hypocrisy, and refuses to back down. This aggressive stance has earned him plenty of enemies, and it's possible that someone used Ariela's death as an opportunity to settle a score. It's like poking a sleeping giant, and the repercussions can be devastating. The phrase lacking is more than just a saying. It's a code, a way of life for some. But in Ariela's case, that code ultimately failed her. She fell victim to a system that prioritizes power and respect above all else. It's a harsh reality check for anyone who believes that fame and fortune can protect you from harm. Because, trust me, they can't. Let's go back to the tributes Takashi put out for a second. It's interesting how he's always been so quick to call out people's hypocrisy. It's like he's trying to prove something, to show that he's not afraid to challenge the status quo. But has this made him a target? Has it put those around him in danger? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. The fact that someone was willing to target Ariela sends a chilling message. It says that no one is safe, that anyone can be a casualty in the war for power and respect. It's a terrifying thought, and it's one that we need to confront if we want to create a safer world. And then there's the broader context of hip-hop culture.
I believe he has something to do with it. It's just, I'm just being honest, anything makes someone talk about him. Hang around gangsters, let me see, look like them God brothers. Living ungodly life does not end with greatness. Fact.
Where loyalty and respect are paramount. To betray that code can have dire consequences, and Ariela's death may be a tragic example of that. It's a stark reminder that there are rules in this world, and those who break them pay the price. The source text mentions that the timing of Takashi's tributes was significant, given his pending drug charges. That really underscores the complexity of this situation and the potential for misinterpretation of his actions. Was he genuine in his grief, or was he trying to manage his public image? The answer, as always, is probably somewhere in between. And let's not forget the simple fact that Ariela was a human being, a person with dreams, aspirations, and loved ones. She deserves to be remembered not as a statistic, but as a vibrant individual whose life was cut short far too soon. Her legacy should be one of hope and resilience, a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, we must continue to strive for a better world. It's tough, right? Witnessing something like this. It makes you question everything. It makes you wonder if there's any real justice in this world. And it's easy to feel helpless, to feel like there's nothing you can do. But we can't give up. We have to keep fighting for a better future, a future where tragedies like this don't happen. This whole situation is like a tangled web, each thread connected to another in a complex and often confusing way. And it's up to us to unravel that web, to uncover the truth, and to ensure that justice is served. It's a long and difficult process, but it's one that we must undertake if we want to create a world where everyone feels safe and protected. The authorities are still investigating, and we're waiting for answers. But one thing is clear. Ariela's death has left a void in the hearts of many. It's a tragedy that will be remembered for a long time to come. And it's a reminder that we must all do our part to create a world where such tragedies don't happen again. The investigation remains open, and significant questions about motive have remained unresolved. What do you think the outcome will be? Let me know in the comment section. And it's a reminder that we must all do our part to create a world where such tragedies don't happen again. The investigation remains open, and significant questions about motive have remained unresolved. What do you think the outcome will be? Let me know in the comments section. The silence that followed Ariela's death was deafening. It wasn't just the absence of her laughter, her vibrant energy. It was a societal hush, a collective intake of breath as we grappled with the unimaginable. The news spread like wildfire, a digital tsunami crashing over social media, turning celebratory posts into memorial streams in a matter of hours. Screenshots of Ariela's last posts, her stories, her tagged locations. They became haunting relics, frozen moments in time that now served as stark reminders of a future stolen. It's easy to get lost in the sensationalism, the endless speculation that swirls around a
Sick. That's all I can say. Y'all sick. For somebody to shoot a woman and kill her in the car game, I really don't understand. I really don't understand. Y'all coming for 6ix9ine.
tragedy of this magnitude. The clickbait headlines, the armchair detectives dissecting every detail online. It's overwhelming. But we need to look beyond the surface to understand the underlying currents that allowed something like this to happen. It's not just about one person, one act of violence. It's about the climate of fear, the echoes of negativity that permeate our society. It's about the pressures, the anxieties, the vulnerabilities that so many of us face every single day. And let's be real, the internet can be a breeding ground for that negativity. The anonymity it provides allows people to hide behind fake profiles, spewing hate and vitriol without consequence. It's a digital Wild West where empathy seems to vanish and malice thrives. Ariela, like so many others, was exposed to that toxicity. Did it contribute to what happened? It's a question we have to ask, even if the answer is uncomfortable. The focus has understandably been on Tekashi 6ix9ine. The public eye is merciless, especially when grief and speculation collide. The pressure he must be under is almost impossible to fathom. People are quick to judge, to assign blame, to demand answers. But we need to remember that he too is grieving, that he too has lost someone he cared about. It's not about absolving anyone of responsibility. It's about recognizing the complexities of human emotion, the fragility of the human heart. How do you process something like that? In the glare of 1,000 digital cameras, the authorities are working tirelessly, chasing down leads, interviewing witnesses, piecing together the puzzle. But the truth is, finding answers isn't always easy. Motive is a tricky thing to uncover, a dark corner of the human psyche that resists easy explanation. And even when we find a suspect, even when we have a confession, the pain doesn't disappear. The void remains, a constant reminder of what we're missing. Ariela's friends and family are understandably devastated. The outpouring of love and support has been incredible, a testament to the impact she had on so many lives. But behind the hashtags and the virtual hugs, there's a deep and abiding sadness, a grief that will take years, perhaps a lifetime, to heal. Think about your own loved ones. Imagine the unimaginable. It's a gut punch, isn't it? What can we do? It's a question that's been echoing in my mind. It's easy to feel helpless, overwhelmed by the scale of the problem. But we can't afford to be passive. We need to be active participants in creating a safer, more compassionate world. It starts with small things, checking in on our friends, reaching out to those who seem isolated, challenging negativity when we see it. It's about fostering a culture of kindness, of empathy, of understanding. We need to educate ourselves about online safety, about the dangers of cyberbullying, about the importance of mental health. We need to teach our children how to navigate the digital world responsibly, how to recognize and report harm.
Like I always say, man, get your man. Get your man. Get your man. Get your man. If y'all looking for 6ix9ine, if y'all thought that was revenge, that definitely some revenge to hurt him. But that ain't no real
full content. How to be good digital citizens. It's not just about protecting ourselves. It's about protecting future generations. And let's be honest, the investigation itself needs to be flawless. Every stone must be turned, every lead pursued. There can be no room for shortcuts, no room for complacency. Ariela deserves nothing less. Her family deserves closure. The public deserves to know the truth. This isn't just about finding a killer. It's about restoring faith in the justice system. Think about the ripple effect. One tragedy like this can impact an entire community, casting a long shadow over hopes and dreams. It makes you question everything. It makes you doubt the safety of your own neighborhoods, your own schools, your own homes. It's a natural reaction, a defense mechanism. But we can't let fear paralyze us. We need to channel that fear into action. The outpouring of support online has been heartwarming, but it's not enough. Words are cheap. Actions speak louder than hashtags. We need to translate our online expressions of grief and solidarity into tangible acts of kindness and advocacy. Volunteer your time. Donate to a worthy cause. Speak out against injustice. Make a difference. It's easy to get caught up in the negativity, to feel overwhelmed by the darkness. But we also need to remember the light. We need to remember Ariela's smile, her laughter, her spirit. We need to celebrate her life, to honor her memory, to keep her spirit alive. Think about the good she brought into the world. Focus on that. The investigation is ongoing, and it's crucial that we respect the process, that we allow the authorities to do their job without interference. But we also need to hold them accountable, to demand transparency, to ensure that justice is served. This isn't just about one case. It's about sending a message that violence will not be tolerated. The question of motive remains a central piece of this devastating puzzle. Why? Why would someone do something like this? Is it a random act of violence? Is it a targeted attack? Is it a manifestation of deep-seated anger and resentment? The answers may be painful, but we need to find them. We owe it to Ariela. We owe it to her family. So, what do you think the outcome will be? What do you think needs to happen to ensure that something like this never happens again? Let me know in the comments. Share your thoughts, your concerns, your hopes. Let's have a constructive conversation, a meaningful dialogue. Because ultimately, we're all in this together. We all share a responsibility to create a better world, a safer world, a world where tragedies like this become a distant memory, a world where Ariela's memory can be a source of strength and inspiration, not just sorrow, a world where the laughter and light she brought are amplified and echoed for generations to come, a world where the laughter and light she brought are amplified and echoed for generations to come.